Wow, I'm super excited. I got my man, Joe Moretti. It's been forever since you and I did a podcast together.
Yeah, it's been a while. The last couple, I did them on my own. And then before that, you had one on your own. So the band is officially back together.
And you know what? We added another member this week.
Wow, I know. We've now become a trio.
A trio.
Whoa, I was going to say a roadie. We're a trio, guys.
We're a trio.
We're a trio. The three amigos.
Yeah,
Look
the three-
what
the
the
three
cat
pendejos.
dragged in. It's Justin White, Coach Sims Coaching Systems. He's now one of our lead coaches in our Sims Academy, one of our newest partners. But he's not new to the industry, not new to coaching, actually. You've got quite the background, almost 15 years working under tutelage of Tony Robbins, Brandon Bouchard.
Yep.
And today, guys, I want to talk about the impact that the Academy is having on the students that we've been putting through it. I mean, Justin, you've actually gone through the Academy as a student. Mm-hmm. You wanted to experience it. Before you came on as a coach, you wanted to go through it. So maybe you can give some insight to the things that people can expect in the Academy.
Yeah, and Jason, anything in my life, like you talk, over 15, it's been 16 years in the coaching realm. And every time I start as a student, I want to start right where everyone else starts because I'm always learning and I have a thirst for learning, and anyone who wants to be successful has to have that hunger for learning. And I want to see what the experience is going through it. So then I always have this initial question, how can I make it better? Right? Mm-hmm. When I went through the Sims, it was really interesting because we had already had contact. I already met you guys. We had crepes the first time,
That's right.
That's where this all started, as a conversation over crepes. And joining onto the Sims Academy, I'm like, okay, cool. Let's go into this and see what it was like. I'll tell you something. It took my real estate game to another level. And at the time, having my own real estate company, still being, finding my way, I was really looking for a process because anything in my life that I've scaled, I've had a system to do it. And at the time I was doing okay, but it was like, how do I scale it and get it even bigger? And going through there, a lot of the things that you guys already talk about, proximity, who you hang out with is who you become, great people. Everybody that I met through the Sims Academy are now friends, and my friends are like my family. So I've got friends all over the globe. The other thing is role playing, getting into the process, having a script that works, and putting it to use. Being in the self-development industry for so many years, I'm a trainer with Tony Robbins. I've lost count of how many events I've gone to. And there'll be people that I see, there's an event called Unleash the Power Within. Very first event I ever went to back in 2006, walked on a hotbed of coals with my bare feet, changed my life. And I've seen people year after year for the last 16 years coming back, doing the same event over and over again. And I'm thinking to myself, why the hell do these people keep coming back? You've done the event. It's because less than 12% of the people, and I think the stats may be even lower, I may be being generous here, take what they learn and actually apply it.
Why is that? That's so, I got to say, as a coach, that frustrates me. You spent this money. We give you the tools that have been proven that work. We've beta tested this stuff. It's the playbook, and it's life-changing. But why is it that so many people do nothing with it, Justin? What have you found?
Patterns. A lot of it is patterns. If we look at people who are successful, it's because they have a pattern of success. If you look at people who are not successful, they have a pattern of how to be unsuccessful. So people will come to things and Sims Academy, invaluable, like so valuable, invaluable because the content that you learn, but if you don't use it, it's worthless. So you can go and hop on a Zoom call once a week for the next 3 months and be like, that was a cool experience. But if you don't actually do the role playing, you don't actually go out there, and I think your term is, skin your knees, right? Get out there and actually use it. And I call it dare to suck, because you got to dare to suck. Because if you're not open to, and you go back to the same things that you've always done, then you can't expect a different outcome. So if you want a different outcome, you got to change your approach. And you can get the best tools, but if you don't apply them, they're useless.
It's funny. One thing I found when it comes down to implementation is I found that the people who aren't implementing, there hasn't been enough pain. They haven't quite hit, whether it's a financial rock bottom. Maybe they've got somebody kind of supporting them in the back end. Maybe it's like a second job or a side hustle just to pay for a couple extra vacations a year. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to go on a limb. Those are my least favorite people to work with. I like working with people who are just like us. Like I've had that rock bottom where I didn't know where my mortgage payment was coming from. Jason, you talk about it a lot. Now, those are the people that I find come with, the intention to implement, and they actually end up implementing it because they want something different tomorrow than what they had today. So as part of our process, even to get into the academy, you've got a one-on-one call with our business development manager, Ryan Zinger. And we've actually, I hate to say it, we've actually turned people away going, you know what, I don't think you're ready. I don't think this is the opportunity for you, because we like to work with the people that are going to implement, the people just like us, people looking to build something great to help drive their family and their community forward. I cannot stand working with the people that are just kind of there just because.
Well, you just touched on it. There's two invisible forces that control every decision that we make in every moment of our life: pleasure and pain. Mm-hmm. Most people want the pleasure, but they don't want to do the work and go through the pain to get it. And pain is the most powerful motivators that we have. The process that you took us through at the beginning where, finding your why. If, you go through that process, if there's not if there's a dry eye in the room, you didn't do it right. Right. And I went through that process. We did it live together, and I had tears coming out of my eyes because I remember the time that I was living in my 1980 Ford Escort rusted out hatchback. And that was my home. That was everything I had, to the point where I couldn't even put, back then, $5 of gas would actually get you somewhere. Now it doesn't get you anywhere, hardly out of the gas station. But back then I'd put my last $5 in to get to the next parking lot, because I get kicked out of all these parking lots that I was sleeping in. And it was the moment when I was at the food bank. I'll never forget this, standing in line in the food bank, looking around, at single moms with their kids. These are people who had nothing. And I just knew that there was more for me. And I swore that when I got to that level where, I'm going to get out of this. And when I do, I'm going to help more people and give back and help others. And one of the best moments was, when I got to that point of being successful, of being financial security and stability, being able to take my daughters and go back to support, the food bank and the soup kitchen. Because I know that there's a person out there that's in line who just needs a hand up like I did. Mm-hmm. They didn't need a hand out. They just needed a hand up. But that's my powerful, when I work with people in real estate, I'm helping out their families. We're building a relationship and, giving them a home, because at that time I would have given anything to have a bed to sleep in.
Yeah.
Man, that's so powerful, Justin. Thanks for opening that up and being vulnerable to the audience, and just because you're a very successful guy, but a lot of people don't know the journey, right? So many people see highlight reels, but they don't see where somebody came from and what they've been through. And I can tell you, everybody has a story. Our job is to figure out what that story is, and is there enough of a chip on your shoulder to get you to find those pain points and be able to use those as a motivator. And I'm going to be honest, most people make life too soft for their kids. They make life too soft for the people around them. And they think they're helping because, that's what we want, right? I don't want you to have to go through the hardship that I did. But sometimes the best gift you can give somebody is the ability to go through a hardship and be able to learn from it, point the finger at themselves and say, what can I do differently? And to bounce back. And I think that's something that the three of us share in common. And somebody listening here right now, I guarantee, has an interesting story, and I'd love to hear it. I'd love for you guys to reach out to us. If you want to just DM us, let's talk. Maybe we can have you on the podcast sharing your story, because I can tell you that rock bottom, as bad as it is, sometimes is the best place to really find out, okay, this is no longer what I want. The pain has to be so great sometimes that you're just like, no, I can't do it anymore. And I think that is one of the key determining factors that I see with people being successful.
It's funny, in the words of a man much wiser than me, how do you know anything about yourself until you've been in a fight? Tyler Durden, Fight Club. But it's the truth. Yeah. Until you've actually had to fight for your life, fight for your family, fight on behalf of somebody else, physically or mentally. How do you know anything about yourself? How do you know what you're capable of until you've hit that bottom and you have to do a thing? And those are my favorite people to work with. And I'll tell you, I've come a long way since I hit my rock bottom. And Justin, you're one of the people that I think helped shape me into the person that I am, the time that we spent together. We've known each other for what, year and a half, two years?
Yep.
Thereabouts. I mean, some of the things that you've taught me, I still carry with me, and I carry with me daily, right? They're constant reminders. And one of my favorite things that you taught me that actually, I think, turned me into a better father, a better business partner, a better husband, a better person in general, is you taught me one simple piece. And I'll share it. You taught me nothing is resolved in the land of the unsaid. And that one thing, that one session, we spent about an hour together, and you gave me a whole bunch of tools, and that was one of my biggest takeaways. Nothing is resolved in the land of the unsaid. And I think I've probably mentioned that I don't know how many times to you, but to me it's that important.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for the gift.
Yeah.
And it's true. We're an amalgamation of all of our learnings together, because somewhere along the journey of discovery, somebody gave me that gift. And then I'm so grateful I was able to pass it along and to have, some impact in your life, because all we need to do is sometimes hear that one thing and it changes our life completely. That one thing that changes, how we look at things. That one thing. There's a book, Gary Keller, the one thing. It's the one thing. What's the one thing I can do, that'll change everything, right? And it makes everything else different. And, what's great is that when you go into like Sims Academy, you're with a caliber of people that are like Joe, that are like Jason, that are like myself, where we are not the teachers. We're still the learners. We're there to give value. And I believe if you're listening to this, your business isn't where you want it to be, it's because you're not delivering enough value. If you're looking at, I'm not making enough, you better ask yourself, what more value can I deliver to my customers? What more value can I deliver to my peer group? What more value can I give my family? Because if you're not making the money, it's just because you're not giving enough value that's out there. And like, guys, I guess when we get together, doesn't matter if it's here, if it's in Mexico, if it's anywhere, we're giving each other value, and then we learn from each other.
Yeah.
Here's something that anybody listening right now can do. Figure out how you can add value to the people in your life. How do you add value to your friends? How do you add value to your acquaintances? How do you add value to your networks? If you meet successful people, how do you add value to their life? Don't always look to take. In fact, that's the last thing you should focus on. Always look to give first. You can never go wrong. If you want to resolve a fight, be the first to build the bridge. Don't wait for the other person to come to you. Build the bridge first, because I'll tell you, it's never, ever, ever going to backfire when you come from a place of giving. It won't. You're going to have people that will take advantage of you. That happens, but more often than not, you will win in the grand scheme of life and business and friendships, and when you always come from that place of giving, And it's hard sometimes for some people, because the question they always say, well, what's in it for me? Yeah. Well, listen, there's not always something immediate in it for you, but I guarantee you it'll come back to you 10x when you give first. I know, because it's changed my entire life. You guys know my story. I didn't live in a van down by the river, but I hit a rock bottom financially, minus 80,000 in the hole, third kid on the way, not knowing how I was going to pay my bills, a father looking at me and basically calling me a loser and saying, you have nothing to show for your whole adult life except for your 2 kids. And he was right. But what he wasn't right on is the fact that he underestimated me and the power of pain. I felt enough pain feeling like that and never having felt that before, that it was the greatest gift the universe could give me in that moment, because it allowed me to look in the mirror and say, Jason, this is your fault, and you're the only guy that's going to get yourself out of this. You are now going to go all in on yourself, and you're going to build a life where you lift people up. And you're now going to tap into that superpower, which is your ability to bring people together. And I'll tell you, I am grateful for having gone through that, as opposed to being resentful. A lot of people will stay in that state where it's, I'm a victim, this happened to me, woe is me, and they feel sorry for themselves. And trust me, you can get enough people in your life that'll feel sorry for you. It's easy, right? People just tell you, oh yeah, it's not your fault, it's not your fault. I'm not that friend. Don't come to me if you want somebody to just tell you that, oh, woe is you, because I'm not going to do that. Why? Because I know that I'm not helping you. When I allow somebody to be in a victim state, I know that they are not in a position to change the outcome of where they're at. They're going to stay there. Guys, pay attention to this. You want to change your life? You have to point the finger at yourself, and you have to seek the lesson. There's always a lesson. You'll keep making the same mistakes over and over and over if you do not see this.
And you listen to people. There's 3 things that people blame. They blame other people, they blame past events, and the last thing that they blame, if they choose to, is themselves. Those are the 3 things that people blame. And I'll tell you something. If you had had the father that you thought you should have had, you wouldn't be the man you are.
Totally. And I love my dad for giving me the tough love that he gave me. And some people are like, I can't believe he said that. Oh my God. And I'm like, you know what, Dad? Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Because you know what? He helped me realize exactly what I needed to realize in that moment. And my mom wouldn't have understood that. What would have my mom done? She would have been like, oh, baby, blah, 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 right? Try to make me feel better. She's a comforter. My dad's not that guy. Just like I'm not that guy in my friend's life. Joe, am I tough on you?
Yeah, we're brutal on each other.
Really tough. Why? Because I see your upside, because I see the man you can be. When I met Joe, he was Mr. Golden Handcuffs. He was Mr. Golden Handcuffs. He was bragging about the fact that he had this cushy gig and this golden handcuffs.
I don't know if I was bragging.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know. Wouldn't
I remember we were at
but...
Nanaimo Clippers Arena, and Joe's like, I got the best job. He had this cushy gig as a bank manager at the credit union. And I remember he was telling me he had the greatest little gig.
It got you some free hockey tickets.
Yeah, but
So
the point is, I saw your greatness before you did. In that sense, you thought that was like, oh, I've made it, but no, I didn't believe your narrative, bud. And when I had the right opportunity where Joe was available, I was like, look, Joe, I've got something. I see something in you. And this is my ability. I see something in people. I see something in you, Justin. This is why you're here. This is why we're collaborating. I see something in Paige. This is why she's here working alongside me for 7+ years. I see people's superpowers. My job is to, at least I believe this, my job is to bring people together and help them unlock their superpower, so that together we can build greatness. Because my whole goal in life is to make impact in thousands of lives. But in order to do that, I have to surround myself with other givers who can tap into their superpowers, because I can't do it on my own. It's impossible. But tough love, Paige, I know I've been tough on you at times too, but it's because I care about you, because I see the person that you're capable of being. And I've watched your growth in 7 years. It's incredible. Like when I met this young lady, she's still young, beautiful. But when I met her, she was like not the person she is today. Her confidence today and the things that she's doing is like incredible. All I think sometimes people need is just somebody to see you and your genius. Sometimes you don't even recognize it. You just need somebody to point it out and just say, I see something. I believe in you. Just that belief in somebody else can absolutely change the outcome, and just opening a door sometimes, just giving somebody an opportunity. And I don't know why I have this gift, guys. I do not know, but I'm so blessed and grateful that I can see that in people. And so I just can't be that guy that'll ever be fluffy and just tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to be the guy that tells you, hey, you're at a 4 out of 10 on your potential. And that's how great I see you being. Like some people would see that as like, wow, you're dissing me. It's the biggest compliment I can give you is the fact that I see your greatness and I see your upside. Because I'm a big thinker. I'm a dreamer. And in order for me to be a dreamer, I have to have people around me that are like, hey, I see it with you. Let's do it. Yeah. I believe in you, Jason. They may not see the 10 steps ahead, but they're like, I believe in you. Let's go. Anyways.
So this is why I'm going to come back to, the DISC. Like part of what we do is a DISC assessment. Mm-hmm. And you are definitely a visionary. You're definitely a high I and then a D after that. And we need people around who are systems people who are awesome at doing numbers and doing spreadsheets and, editing podcasts, like the things that we are like that they shine at, right? And when you really, if you look at anyone who's successful, they've got a network of people around them that are all rock stars at their own individual thing. And this is when I coach a lot of CEOs and business owners, their crutch, they hire people they like that are like them. Mm-hmm. Oh, they're like me. Let's work together. But then all of a sudden, you've got a bunch of like high I's and nobody's getting all the paperwork done. And nobody's getting all the detailed work done. And they're like, what's going on? Why is my business not growing? It's because we need to have people who are visionaries, but can see the greatness in others and bring in their skill sets. And once you do that, it's complementary. It's not like a bunch of they got a bunch of cooks in the kitchen, right? That are, I'm going to do this, I'm doing this. It's people that work together and their greatness is acknowledged by others. And I really believe that, you mentioned about acknowledging people, their greatness. I think that there's a lack of acknowledgement now in the world because people are so busy focusing on who? Themselves. What's going on in their life that they're not acknowledging other people. Like, I like acknowledging you as a visionary. I acknowledge you as a connector. I've seen you do it so many times, bringing people together and opening people up that normally would sit on the sidelines because they're introverts. And you've got this way of like matching, mirroring them and bringing them out. And I got to acknowledge you for that. Joe, I acknowledge you, lifetime learner, super dad, super husband. Your relationship that you guys have as friends, but also business partners, that's rare. I got to acknowledge both of you guys for that and your success and that relationship you guys have. A lot of guys, people like me, don't have that kind of, intimate relationship with another man. But you guys,
well, you do now.
I do now.
It's the three of us.
I know.
Get ready for it.
But it's what I'm saying is acknowledging each other, and you have a great way of acknowledging people, like you just did with Paige.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Justin? I'm going to tell you what your superpower is. You are so, like, when you see a goal, you are one of the most, like, goal-driven, tenacious people I know. It's like you see it and you're like, I'm willing to do it. You are a lifelong student. I can tell that about you. You will seek out knowledge wherever you can find it. And I love that, because as successful as you've been, I mean, guys, multimillionaire, successful coach, has been from the van down by the river to having the mansion and
when
all
did
those
it
things.
become a van?
I don't know. I just envision it, the van down by the river. Chris Farley. Yeah. Anyways, but I love the fact that you are constantly seeking out knowledge and improving yourself. Justin can take something that he learns in an academy and he'll know it. He'll practice it that night, and the next day he's already facilitating it. I love that about you. That's a rare trait, because most people will take information and it will die right there. With you, you take the information and you go and implement it right away. You don't even think about it. You start making it a muscle memory. And guys, if you want to learn how to become successful, learn how to mirror successful people. Be around successful people. Proximity is very important, right? If you're around successful people, it's going to rub off on you. You hang out with losers, that will rub off on you. Right? So start looking and evaluating the people you surround yourself with. If you want to change something, your proximity is important. Joe, all you needed was an environment change for you to be able to blossom. Paige, what you need is an environment around you of people that saw your superpower to elevate you. Same thing with me. I'm nothing without amazing people like you guys believing in the vision and allowing me to be the visionary, so-called visionary. It's so cool. Guys, your network is your net worth. If you want to change your life, surround yourself with better people.
And so the great thing is if you want to surround yourself with better people, where can you go?
Yeah, well, come check us out.
Please.
Our Sims Academy. If you want to become a conscious, competent agent, you want to learn how to do this business at a high level from people that have done it, people that have excelled in life, this is the place. If you want to be a lifelong student, this is information that you're not going to get out on the street. This is not your stuff that you're going to get from your Tom Ferrys and Mike Ferrys. No disrespect to them. They've built great businesses. We are going to teach you something that will change your life if you allow it to.
Yeah, and then with coaches being added to Sims coaching systems, if we look at it in World Wrestling Federation wrestling terms,
ooh, yeah.
This is one half of the mega powers. This is like the Randy Macho Man Savage. But we also have the Hulk Hogan. We have Bianca White. We have two people coming and joining, right?
Tag team coaching.
Tag team coaching. And I'm really, really excited to look at just the different perspectives that you guys are going to bring to our coaching program. Again, this is like a match made in heaven. I couldn't be more happy, more thrilled for all of our coaching students to have, Bianca White and Justin White coming and joining us and just adding value. And we're going to be creating a ton of new content with new people, new faces. You're not just stuck staring at,
man, we made the academy even better than the first
one,
right? So adding the Tony Robbins stuff that you guys bring to the table and just that information that you guys bring is going to be huge. The human psychology standpoint will take it to another level. The AI that we've brought with our Sims Academy, right? Getting some of the most brilliant minds like Phil Stringer to get us that information and our students get access to this.
Man, next level.
Phil is a beast with AI. He's an incredible human being, and that guy can sing like a mofo.
Oh, yeah. He's got
talent.
Yeah, it's like a boy band for sure.
He's boy band. Right. And I want to also mention that the learning doesn't just happen at the academy. The learning happens when we role play and we get into groups outside of it. So we talk about, you're the direct reflection of the expectations of your peers. Well, now you get to be in a peer group of people who are right where you're at so that you're not a lone wolf. Because I think a lot of the time in real estate, it feels pretty lonely out there. You feel like, you get off the call and you're pumped, but then you're just like, hello, and you're by yourself. And I found that the group of people I'm a little greedy, guys. I got to tell you, I'm greedy for learning. So when I was doing the Sims Academy as a student, you guys put us into like pods of 3. I double dipped. I had 2 pods.
Because I know you did.
I know.
I know you did.
I thought it was in the closet. I'm like,
Oh, no.
I felt a little
It was
bad.
out of the closet.
All right. It's out of the closet.
You're not
now.
as sneaky as you think you are, Justin.
I
White.
double dipped. I had 2 pods. So now what's great about that? I've got people that are friends in Alberta. I got friends in Tampa. I got friends in New York. And I got referrals going on already.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I got a network that if I need to tap into at any time, boom, they're like, I was going to say a phone call, but it's more like a Facebook message or a text away. And then we jump on a phone call.
Love it.
But and they're playing at that same caliber. And you see it happen on social media. That's what I love. You know, the first day of Sims Academy, everyone's kind of like timid, you know, getting on. Like, can you put on your camera? Put your cameras on. Joe's yelling at us. And, you know, people don't put their cameras on. But by like the 4th session in, cameras are on. Everybody's there. They're showing up. And by the, you know, even the middle, I was going to say the end, but by the middle of like a month and a half into Sims Academy, these people are like showing up in a whole different state. They're showing up with this confidence. They're showing up like rock stars. And here's the best part. You see it on their social media.
Yeah. Totally.
The way that they show up, physiology, their language, their focus, you know, they're not just going, you know, I sell homes. They're like coming from this heart space and they've got a mission. They've got a purpose. And it's just magical to see.
Love it.
And you know what's so cool is seeing veteran agents who've built like massive 7-figure teams and companies and like healthy 6-figure earners that are coming to the academy and saying, I wish I would have known this 20 years ago. I wish I would have known this 10 years ago, 15. It's amazing. And it's stuff that's directly from my playbook from when I was in production doing 125 to 130 homes myself in production. It's exactly the framework that we've used to train our agents in our Sims Real Estate group. We have a 97% success rate developing an agent from scratch, getting them to 6 figures from exactly what we're teaching in the academy, guys. This is stuff that'll change your life. So check us out. And here's what we do. We always invite you guys to just do an exploratory call with Ryan, our business development manager. He'll understand your pain points, where you're at in your business, and then we'll make sure that this is the right fit for you and that you're a right fit for the program. Because not everybody is. Not everybody is ready, has enough pain in their life to where they're ready to make a change. And
That's okay.
That's okay.
Justin, always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure. You know it. Pleasure to be in the gang of the 3 amigos here.
Yeah.
JJ and Jay.
There you go.
The JJ Express.
Match made in heaven.
All right, guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please give us some love, comment. We always appreciate feedback. We want to be better, and thank you, everybody.
Let's go.
Let's go.